Hello everybody, today I want to talk about my relationship to extreme minimalism. I've been a minimalist for 5 years, but I think it's really hard. As it is hard to define what a minimalist is, it is also hard to define what an extreme minimalist is. And in the end, I think these definitions do not really mean anything. Still, I wanted to talk about that. If you're new here, my name is Leah. I upload videos twice a week about minimalism and sustainable living. If you're interested in these topics, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. And now let's get started. So, minimalism I would define as a lifestyle where a person consciously decides what they want to have in their life, with the goal to remove excess stuff to have more time, energy, resources, and space for what is actually important. Minimalism can also be applied to the digital space, as well as I mentioned to like time management. And of course, most people just do it for physical belongings. But now, where is the line where you actually are a minimalist and not just a person that declutters on a regular basis? And where is then the difference, again, to being an extreme minimalist? Now, minimalism gets more and more popular, I think, and I also think that's a good thing, as long as people are not just decluttering to then buy new things, but are actually paying attention to what they own and what they do with their other resources. An extreme minimalist, I think, is the same, but as the word says, in a more extreme way. But now the word extreme suggests that it is not really normal anymore, that it is kind of crazy, and that it is actually not in an area where a lot of people do that. In some areas of my life, I would definitely consider myself an extreme minimalist. My wardrobe, I think, is pretty extreme. For living in a 4-season climate, I have only one drawer of clothes and 3 pairs of shoes, 1 jacket and 1 backpack. So I think that is pretty extreme, and I think I could be considered being an extreme minimalist when it comes to that. Of course, my wardrobe is maybe not extreme if you compare it to somebody who lives in a tropical climate where there aren't really any differences in seasons the whole year around. Also, I do not own any books, I do not own any makeup, but I guess more than half of all humans do not own any makeup. I think there are a lot of other things that a lot of people consider being normal that I do not own, but I think just not owning something cannot make me an extreme minimalist. Then maybe we should take a look at what I actually own. Now here we have again 2 very different situations. So my personal belongings fit into 2 drawers of our IKEA dresser. I also have 1 sleeping bag and 1 sleeping pad that totally belongs to me. But then it starts to get a bit more difficult. I live in this apartment with my son and my boyfriend, and they are not minimalists. So they own a lot of things, and also we own a lot of things together. And because we do not have the same idea of what is important and what not, and what we want to keep and what not, we have a lot of things that I would not own if I lived on my own. But we do live together, and I choose to live with my family, and I like living with my family, so I like making compromises to be able to live with them. But then if you take a look at my apartment, you wouldn't say that I'm an extreme minimalist, just because there are so many things that we all use together. I think it's not important how other people define me, if I am an extreme minimalist or not, because the only thing that is important is that I am happy with the lifestyle I'm living, and that my lifestyle is bringing me value and makes me the person that I want to be and makes it possible for me to do the things that I want to do. So that is not important. But then I think it's very interesting because part of me is really always going into a more and more extreme direction when it comes to minimalism. I crave that feeling of being able to just like have everything I own in 1 backpack. I crave knowing that everything I can possibly need really fits into a small space, that I am not like dragged down by the things I own. So on one hand, I really want to be an extreme minimalist. On one hand, I want to declutter a lot of things that we still own altogether. But on the other hand, I am living in an apartment. I'm not a digital nomad right now. I have a lifestyle with a family. I have a kitchen where I like to cook. So that really points into the opposite direction, into like normal family life belongings. And so I'm really in between these 2 things. And I can totally imagine that I would one day pack all of my things and go travel the world with my family, for example. And then I can really live out of a backpack. That's not a problem at all. But maybe that's never going to happen. And then I will always be stuck in this apartment with a lot of stuff, feeling that there's too much material stuff that belongs to me, like that I'm responsible for too many things. And so I'm really in between these things. By heart, I'm an extreme minimalist, but in reality, I still have a lot of stuff because I need that. Another huge thing is that I try to live a sustainable lifestyle. And by living a sustainable lifestyle, a lot of times I need to have more things. I need to have things that prevent waste. I need to have things that I use multiple times instead of just using a thing one time and then decluttering it, or like one time and throwing it away. That would save some space. Always eating out would save some kitchen equipment, but it's not super sustainable and it's not what I choose to do. So sustainability again brings in all of that stuff that I'd rather not have, because I ideally want to have less things. But on the other hand, it really doesn't make sense for me to just declutter the things to not have them, because it's important to me to try to live very sustainably. So I think these categories of minimalism and extreme minimalism highly depend on what category you look at, on what are your like rules for minimalism and extreme minimalism. And I think some of you maybe think that I'm an extreme minimalist and some think not at all. Now, especially for my YouTube videos, I'd really like to know what you think. Can I title it extreme minimalism sometimes? I do it with my wardrobe because I think it's extreme. I do it with my bathroom stuff because I think it's pretty extreme. I do it when I talk about that I don't own any books. But on the other hand, maybe it's not extreme. And extreme minimalism is a good keyword on YouTube, but I don't want to use it if I feel that it's not true. I don't want to clickbait you. And so that is, of course, a problem that just comes with making YouTube videos. But in my life, I have that same problem, as I explained to you sometimes as well, that I'm really torn between these areas of really wanting to own less things, but having a family, not living a nomadic lifestyle, and trying to be sustainable. It makes me not being able to declutter all of these things. I have to say that is only a problem if I think about it and if I try to fit into categories, and I think that's maybe the mistake. Maybe it's not really important to fit into a certain category, because really it is important that you are happy with your lifestyle. I would be really interested in hearing your thoughts on this topic, and whether you think I'm an extreme minimalist or not. And also I'd like to know if you think that you are a minimalist or an extreme minimalist, or if you think these categories just suck and are not important and you are just a person having the things that are important to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and let me know your thoughts on this topic. If you want to see more videos, I'll link you a video and a playlist right here, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!